Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. If you can't, let me know. Um, I am broadcasting from Trans House. So before I get to the game and my reaction, obviously to a uh, devastating loss at the hands of the Oklahoma State Cowboys, 32-24. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, the official channel sponsor, and official sportsbook, official betting partner, busr.com/fanatic. Hit up that website, and we are in I am thankful for them. Reliable, incredible partner, incredible betting partner. busr.com/fanatic. Sports 100 FP is the official promo, matching on 100% free play deposits. So as you guys are jumping in here and wagering on other games tonight and talking about different things, hit up USR and get some free play money on us. So I appreciate it. Now, yeah, what's up, guys? Everybody that's, I'm gonna get in my opening statements, and then we'll jump into the chat as you guys are, filling in here, and BUSR. My man Tyler, what's good, man? I miss you, brother. I miss you. So hit me up, text me. But opening thoughts. I was at the game, just got back, and this isn't going to be a super long live because Tran's brother, Jason Tran, who played for Texas, it's his birthday party tonight, and we're going to head over there. We're going to have a good time. We're not going to let games ruin our lives or anything like that. We lost a football game today. It's very, very disappointing. And it was a big football game that we lost today. It was a season-altering, a season-defining football game that we lost today. Let me say this. This hurts for me. This hurts more than the OU loss. And the OU loss, and I'm talking about in the moment. This is why I do these videos. I want to react in the moment because this is also a journal for myself, selfishly. And in the moment, this hurts more. A, it's on our home soil. B, OU, was the number 6 team in the country. And I know Oklahoma State was the number 12 team in the country. And shout out to Oklahoma State and their perseverance and coming back and winning this football game on the road. All credit to them, Mike Gundy and his crew. But when you lose a football game in the manner that we lost this football game today, and understanding the manner in which we lost last week to our arch rivals in Dallas, and we know all these things. We've been diagnosing these things all week about what's wrong with the defense. Why is it the offense scoring and playing all 4 quarters? All of these things. And you see it come to fruition again. And not just again, but immediately, right? And so when you see this play out in the manner in which it plays out, and, it's another loss in a situation where we're up multiple scores, in a situation where you have complete control of the football game. If you're watching the football game and you understand football, Texas controlling line of scrimmage, Texas controlling, every asset of the game, skill players. Oklahoma State doesn't have a quarterback that really can threaten you, through however many quarters. They don't have a quarterback that can even manufacture, not even the quarterback, but their offense. They're not manufacturing a touchdown drive. It's extremely frustrating. Let me share this on Twitter while I'm on here because I forgot to share it. So I apologize because I want to get the word out. But while I'm sharing this and sending it out to everybody, let me log in. This hurts, man. This hurts. I hurt for these kids and the Bijan Robinsons of the world and all these kids. And I want to transition to this because I just was listening to Steve Sarkisian. You guys are getting to watch me as I'm sharing content because I'm working on the fly. But I was listening to Steve Sarkisian and his presser or his in press conference, and he mentioned right off the bat something when we get up in these games, something is happening to us where one mistake happens, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but one mistake happens and we essentially fall apart. And he's not wrong at all. That's literally what's happening. I think that's a good observation by Steve. But it's the element of sports psychology, and it's the element of sports psychology with this program. I don't even say this team, because we've seen this since for the last 12 years, where now have people come back on us for the last 12 years, but in terms of the manner of disappointment or the manner in which we trip over ourselves or the manner in which things should just fall into place, and not just fall into place, but things should, if we do what we're supposed to do, if we get out of our own way, you hear me say that all the time. If we get out of our own way, we should execute and get out of there. And sports psychology also is what occurred last week, because the flip side of it is that when, no matter how much you're struggling, and I've given OU a lot of crap about this, they know how to win. Oklahoma State is 6-0 this year. They've played a lot of tough games. They played this game right where they wanted to be in terms of score, in that range. They just know how to win the football game. And I don't know how else to articulate that to people right now. It's an understanding of, how do I win this game and just get out of here and move forward with a dub? We have these wins. We have these games. We should be 6-1 right now. We should be 6-1 right now. There's no reason to drop a game in which you're up 28-7 last week. Okay. The unbelievable happens. The spectacular happens in favor of Oklahoma. This week you're at home. And some may say, well, last week's loss bled into this week. But the way we started this football game, the way we controlled this football game, really through the pick six, where Jason Taylor picks that off, where we're going in, as Sark said, we're going in to go up 24-3, controlling this game. Clearly, again, we're prepared for this team. Clearly, again, our opening script is on point. And we fall apart. We fall apart. I'm going to finish this thought here, and I'm going to jump back over to the chat. Give me a sec. Back over to the chat. Yeah, I mean, everybody's talking about all these things, and I appreciate everybody in here. Just make sure you hit that like button. But it's sports psychology to me. And think about it this way. I see people saying, hey, it's the coaching. Hey, it's the players. And I think this is, one thing I do disagree with Steve Sarkisian is him saying the bye week comes at the perfect time. I think the bye week comes at a bad time, because there's a lot of time right now, at least in our fan base, for us, maybe for the players and people getting healthy and getting some guys back and, figuring some things out practice-wise. It's a good time. But for us as a fan base, I think it's a bad time for a bye week, because all of this doubt and internal toxic nature is going to come to bear, and there's nothing we can do about it for those of us who are just trying to support the team and want to love on these kids and want the best for these kids. But my bigger point is this. Whether you say it's more of the coaches, whether you say it's more of the players, whatever you want to say, there's a sports psychology issue, because we've had three different defensive coordinators in the last 3 years. Todd Orlando, Chris Ash, Pete Kwiatkowski. We've had two different head coaches. We've had Tim Beck, 3 different offensive coordinators. We've had Tim Beck. We had Mike Yursich. This year we have Kyle Flood. Steve Sarkisian is the play caller. Something happens when these coaches show up and all of a sudden they're not themselves. I'm not going to say they forgot how to play football, but they're not themselves. Oh, shout out to my boy Nino. You know, I tried to time it up as best I could, bro. Love you, Nino, and we're gonna make it through this. It's tough, but something happens to us, and Pete Kwiatkowski knows how to coach football. This isn't a defensive, from what I see, because I've seen we try everything. We went with Chris Ash. We went with the rugby style tackle. We said it was more fundamentals. We went with a very basic scheme, 4-man front, everything the fans asked for. And we got the result we got. We've changed the offense God knows how many times. We've changed quarterbacks this season. We've had runners. Now, we don't have a special runner every year. This year we do have a special runner in Bijan Robinson. But I'm talking about big picture because I'm a big picture guy. But like the last 12 years, and I love Bijan. I love Bijan. He's an amazing player. He's one of the best players in the country. He's an NFL back. If he was in the NFL right now, he'd probably be a top 10 running back, no doubt about it, with the way he can move. There's no weaknesses in his game, his vision. The brother's incredible. We had another runner here, what, now 5 years ago, who won the Doak, and we went 5-7. We've had runners. Deontay Foreman was a runner as well. The guy had, what, almost 20 straight 100-yard games, and not just BS 100-yard games. He had a bunch of 100-yard games. What did it do? We had a quarterback here in Sam Ehlinger who was a great leader, did everything he could, literally gave blood to this program. What did it do? We've had coaches, we've had a number of coaches come here that know football, recruits that play football, recruits that are really good. What did it do? And this is, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm just thinking right now. I'm just thinking. And thank you for the donation. But I'm trying to work through this in my mind because it's freaking frustrating and it hurts. And look, all losses in context. I'm not saying anybody should be fired or anything like that. I'm sorry for hitting the mic. I apologize. But it hurts. It hurts. It hurts to leave DKR when we're all there passionate about this. And, you know, we love this football team so much. Fresh Prince, you talking about look the part. They look the part in the beginning of these games. But as I finish, I'm going to get to all this. As I finish my thoughts here, it goes back to what Steve Sarkisian said at the beginning of his presser today because he told the freaking truth. There's a sports psychology issue here at the University of Texas. It's a sports psychology issue. It has to be. Because when I had a chance to sit down with Caden Stearns in the offseason, when I see guys like Poona Ford and all these kids, that get in NFL teams and they look like they've been set free. They look like they can play again. And it's like, whoa, why is he doing this in the NFL and he didn't do that here? Or why, we have guys that play well here and then, they continue to do their thing in the league. We have coaches that are amazing. Steve Sarkisian is an incredible player, or incredible coach, an incredible play caller, incredible offensive mind. How do we end up we hit 24 points in the third quarter. We don't score again. We don't have anything else left. Guys in here, and let people talk. We got to eat that. And that's the tough part of being a fan. But if I'm going to have a YouTube channel and I'm going to put my face out there and share my thoughts, I have to own this to the degree I do. Yes, I picked Texas to win this football game. Yes, I said Arlington after the game, and I thought that's the energy they should have. Any confident team coming out of what happened last week would be thinking we want a rematch and would be thinking we got to get back on track. And again, for the first half until the pick six, they showed that energy. They showed everything they needed to show to get back on track. But everybody that wants to come at me, I know a lot of people are going to come at me on Twitter and quote tweeting me and all this type of stuff. Go ahead, go in. I got nothing. Go in. And what is there to talk about? And here's the thing, before I get really get into the chat. When I said Arlington, whether you believe it or not, what else could you say after last week's game? Other than, like, if you don't say Arlington, then the season's over, essentially. If you don't say Arlington, then we're talking about, let's get back to San Antonio and get to the Alamo Bowl. So, of course, if you're a competitor, if you want to run it back, if you want to win football games, of course you're going to say, let's try to get back. Of course you're going to come out and say, let's start with beating a team that's, 5-0 in Oklahoma State. Of course you're going to say those things. Of course you're going to feel that way. I felt like we should win this football game. I leave this football game thinking, how do we let this get away? No disrespect to Oklahoma State, Cowboys, Mike Gundy, all that team. Spencer Sanders was a disaster out there. I was there. He was a disaster out there. And I can't even really put this on the defense because, and I'm glad Sark said it, how many snaps you want them to play out there? We lost to Marvion Overshown today. We lost some guys on defense. Keaton Crawford, hope they come back. Overshown had a concussion. Keaton Crawford had a hamstring issue. But they played 82 snaps today in a game where you're not facing some potent offense, in a game where you're not facing some dynamic quarterback. Spencer Sanders was terrible. Now, I did tell you guys, over time, where they're going to run the football. And here's something I wish I keyed on more during the week. This team, something happens, and Steve's talking about it from a standpoint of sports psychology when they get up. But something happens where we talk about all gas, no brakes. We're running out of gas midway through the third quarter. We've seen this multiple times. And look, there's certain times this year where there's the shutout against Rice or the teams that, or Louisiana, whatever, teams that we just had more people than. Fine. Arkansas game, you look at the defense. Were they terrible in the first half of Arkansas, or did they get worn down over time? Were they terrible in the first half against OU, or did they get worn down, obviously, with the adjustment of Caleb Williams and all these things? This defense, football is a complementary sport. And when you have the issues and challenges, as good as this offense can be and as good as this offense has shown and as explosive as they've shown at times and been at times, when you are immediately handing the ball back and on top of that giving points to the other team and making mistakes, and Oklahoma State, Jason Taylor and them, Jason Taylor, film study pick, awesome pick six. I'm not, Oklahoma State deserves credit. But James Arroyo, you hit it right on the head. Oklahoma State had won the fourth quarter. Let me go to his comment. Excuse me. Oklahoma State won the fourth quarter 16-0. OU last week won the fourth quarter 25-7. You're not finishing football games. And you're supposed to, if you want to be a great team, you're supposed to get better throughout the game. And again, you want to talk about offensive line has problems. They're trying to move guys around the offensive line. You want to talk about, I hear now all of a sudden people want to pull Casey Thompson and go back to Hudson Card and play the quarterback game. I've seen teams win with quarterbacks less talented than Casey Thompson and less talented than Hudson Card. Look at Georgia right now, and I know they're a juggernaut on all facets of the game. Didn't Georgia's over here winning comfortably with Stetson Bennett? Casey Thompson's better than Stetson Bennett in terms of talent and ability. Hudson Card's better than Stetson Bennett in terms of talent and ability. How are these teams able to win? I've seen teams throughout the last 10 years of college football win games with quarterbacks less talented than Sam Ehlinger. I've seen people win with runners less talented than Bijan Robinson, less talented than Roschon Johnson. How are we consistently getting in our own way like this? they've got to investigate the psychological element of this program, because what we're seeing at this point doesn't make sense. And it's frustrating because it's not, you change the coaches and we're getting the same outcomes. You change the players, you change the quarterback, you change the runners, you change the line. Go back and look at some of the chats that we've had. I've had this YouTube channel now for 3 years. Go back and look at some of the chats we've had after the games. We're talking about the same things, just different characters. All these people that are on the team right now, not only were ballers wherever they came from, or coaches that were awesome coaches wherever they came from, but they were winning football games. They know how to win football games. And then collectively, something is here in this atmosphere. I don't know what it is. I don't know if we got to exercise anything. I don't know. But there's a psychological issue here. And I don't know what you do to solve it. I'm not paid millions of dollars to fix it. That's where it still falls at the feet of the head coach, because he took this job, he took the risk, he left a comfortable environment in Bama and took a very tough job coming in here to fix this. And it's the same outcome. And I'm not doom and gloom. I'm not saying Sark can't fix it. I'm not saying anybody needs to be fired, because we've got to really audit this thing. It's the same conversation we've been having year over year over year. It's the same conversation. Now, how we get to that outcome is different. Yeah. Like, we're jumping on people now. We're getting out to good leads. We're getting out to good starts. We've had problems with that in the past with the previous regime. But in the previous regime, we finished games tough. So it's like we flipped. And I have faith in everybody that's here. I have faith in even the players. I don't have a problem with the players. It's a psychological issue. So let me get to the chat here. I'm actually overlay this, and I apologize for not doing this sooner. Let me overlay the chat so I can see this better. Oh, I got my Cowboys. Forgot to change the box here. It's the same conversation we've been having. Now, people are gonna say, "Oh, the defensive coordinator's trash." I see people saying the defensive coordinator's trash. They play 82 snaps today. Now, yeah, should they give up what they gave up at the end of the game with 3rd and 6 and all this type of stuff that I tell y'all that Jalen Warren and then we're going to run and get more yards than they've gotten before? Yes, we saw that last week. I didn't think that we would only score 24 points. I'm not putting that on the defense. I picked this game 48-36. OSU got 32 points and threw a pick. And of that 32 points, they really legitimately only scored 25 points of offense because they got to pick 6. So y'all want to blame whoever you want to blame. I'm not here to play the blame game right now. Blame whoever you want to blame. We'll go into film. I was at the game. We'll watch the film. We'll say who played well, who didn't give us enough, who was bad, good, bad, ugly. We'll do all that. What lineup changes need to happen? We'll do all that. Blame whoever you want to blame. But in my opinion, you give up that many snaps 2 weeks in a row. Because last week they gave up, Nino, I think you have the number. They gave up 81 snaps in OU. They gave up 82 snaps today on defense. Where's the offense? I told y'all they need to be 45, 50 points and up. Reset your floor. So to me, the defense gave me what I needed in terms of what they've been showing. Clint, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you, Steven. You know how I feel about this team year in, year out. Never changes, no matter who our coaches are. The mentality in Austin has to change. What is the mentality? Somebody said you have the best player in the country and you don't give him touches. Is Bijan lacking for touches? And I'm not trying to be, it's not even me saying that facetiously. He had 21 carries today and he had 3 in the past game. So he had 21 carries, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 3 catches, 38 yards, and a touchdown. So he had 3 touchdowns. Is that is I don't feel as though what you want to run him like we ran Foreman? You want to run the running back like that? I have a question. Why does Keelan Robinson have 1 catch for 25 yards on a jet sweep and then we don't see him anymore? Why can't anybody else get productivity? The answer can't be we're running, we have this runner and we're going to run him into the ground. That's not what other teams do with great running backs. Why can't we convert first downs in the second half and keep the clock moving and score points and protect our defense and play complementary football? Why can't we do that? Why are we throwing, interceptions in the red area? Why aren't we able to put together drives and protect our quarterback a little bit better? I thought pass protection wasn't terrible today. I thought the pocket was fine for the most part. It's not like Oklahoma State had a bunch of dogs running after Casey Thompson. People want to blame Tom Herman. Was this not a problem before Tom Herman? How long has Texas been this way? That's the question I have for everybody. How long has Texas been this way? I agree. Number 7 should have been. You want to put it on the coaches, put on the coaches. Why is it we keep getting new staffs and they keep forgetting players? I had a lot of people ask me about Keelan Robinson last week. Was he in the doghouse? Why isn't he getting more opportunities? Do you guys know that Keelan Robinson, for those of you who are at the game, y'all know what I'm talking about. Keelan Robinson was a captain against OU. He was a captain. How are you in the doghouse and you're a captain against Oklahoma and then you don't get a touch? And then today we come out. I even tweeted. I said, wow, way to get Keelan Robinson involved. And then we don't see him again. What is that? What happened to us? Right. Bijan actually had 24 touches. I'm comfortable with that number for him. You cannot run your special guy into the ground, or else we're not going to make it the whole season. Or he's going to, we still have another year left of the guy. You can't do that to these players, especially in 2021. And look, football, somebody brought up Purdue. Purdue, I believe, beat Iowa today. I didn't see the game. I was leaving. But I believe they beat Iowa today. This is a weird year like it was in 2007 where everybody was losing and then you had a national champion that had 2 losses. Casey Thompson seemed off like I've never seen him. Casey Thompson has his strengths and weaknesses. I personally think he's playing banged up the same way the previous number 11 played. And we saw Hudson Card come in, essentially burning his red shirt because that was his 5th game, make a handoff and leave. If you guys, I'm not going to engage in the going back and forth with the quarterbacks because we've seen the same thing from both guys in terms of, good, bad, and ugly. Essentially, it's just that Casey Thompson at this point, I think the differential with him is he understands how to move a little bit better within the pocket, but he also threw some disappointing interceptions. So were all those, the last interception was a bad pick. The first one, I think that was actually more play call. I didn't like the play call. We're going quick, hard slant right there, and we throw a pick 6 on something that we have been doing over and over and over again. He's battling his ass off, just like the previous number 11 did, just like Hudson Card did when he was in there. I don't think it's if we had this quarterback, you guys want to keep flipping back and forth towards quarterbacks, then we're just going to keep flipping back and forth with everything else. And I'm frustrated. And I know somebody's listening to this and like, well, Steve, what's the answer? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is this sucks. And I'm reacting alongside with you and trying to talk through this. Somebody said Casey's a one read quarterback. Casey was hurt. Well, if Casey's a one read quarterback, but you have limited time in the pocket and you have guys who drop footballs and all these other things, then what are we doing? Yeah, we burn the now. I don't, they've been consistent in saying the red shirt was not an issue and Hudson Card's going to play, but so what have you. But we know that he wasn't holding anymore and he hadn't played since, but he came in and handed the ball. He played one play. Ban all celebrating from defense. So you don't want them to have fun. Football's supposed to be fun. It sucks when people celebrate, but like you can't say, "Oh, I don't want you. I want you to show enthusiasm. I want you to be." All the other teams do it. Georgia celebrates. Anybody that's good celebrates. Even Bama celebrates. The thing is, you still have to finish these football games. I agree, Dr. Johnson. You still have to finish. Yeah, you gotta come in and handle your responsibilities. But Dr. Johnson, this has been a problem for 12 years. This has been a problem for 12 years. Football's, I mean, you need people to get their juice. Block, play your gap, and win. They did. They played actually pretty good gap football until they ran out of gas because they played 82 snaps again. Do you think Coach PK's scheme is to blame? We've played every scheme under the sun. Nothing works here, at least sustainably, or has been sustained, I should say. Do I think I didn't see PK's scheme fail today. What I saw was a defense that was swarming to the football. Spencer Sanders was bad. A defense that held them to 3 field goals for most part of the game, and they ran out of gas. And then your offense, football is, you can't just look at it out of one lens of a group. Talking about 550 yards rushing the past 3 games. Yeah, go ahead. Go in on the rushing yards today. Are we talking about today? Or are we talking about last week? What are we talking about? Because what the rushing yards today and the rushing yards against OU are 2 different things. Dr. Johnson said they're out of gas from jumping around celebrating. You've never played football before. That tells me that football's supposed to be a fun game. You're supposed to be enthusiastic. You know who else was celebrating? Oklahoma State, whenever they made a great play. That's how football works. It's way bigger than that, my friend. You have to be enthusiastic. What's the point of being out there if you're never going to have fun? We're focusing on we're majoring on the minors. It feels like we're on our heels in the second half. Yeah, so it's a good point. So instead of, I think at one point after the Bijan Robinson touchdown run, we get up 24-13. I think we get a stop, and then we have an opportunity. Now we get backed up, and this is the other thing. Field position matters, and we had really poor field position for a big chunk, especially in the third quarter. Now, in that part of the field, and just in general, you have an opportunity if you can put some plays together to go up 3 scores and really add to that margin and make Spencer Sanders beat you, because it's not a situation where they're going to go to somebody like a Caleb Williams or somebody where they can throw the ball, a bunch of 50-50 balls to Marvin Mims. That's not the case. This is a case where you got stuck in your own part of, inside your 10-yard line. We get a couple penalties. We're punting. And you're giving Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy, that's why when he kicked the field goal, same way Lincoln Riley did, when they kicked the field goal just to keep that margin, they know what they're doing as coaches against us, where they're like, we just got to stay close because these guys are running out of gas. They're not putting this away. He said, I missed some super chats earlier. I apologize if I did. I didn't do it intentionally. I'm just trying to survive here. If somebody wants to let me know what super chats I missed, I apologize. Did you have one, Luke? I don't want to miss anybody's super chats. I apologize if I did. It's just it's tough times. I hurt as a fan. I mean, do I hurt to the point where it's going to ruin my night or anything like that? No, but this sucks. I don't think we lost all the recruits today. I wouldn't say that. How much has recruiting been an issue to the point where we haven't gotten somebody? Now, we're not getting the people in the trenches, the 5-star people that Georgia and Alabama are getting in the trenches, and that's what really needs to change, in my opinion, because that then you can do whatever you want with your skill guys. But we're getting skill guys. We're going to get some of these guys. We may not get all of them. We may have lost Arch. We may have lost Evan Stewart. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I would be more concerned if they did not celebrate. We'll be concerned fourth quarter, the rest of the year. Absolutely, Cliff. Totally agree. Thank you for the super chat. No, you got to be enthusiastic. You got to have fun. Football's supposed to be fun. And look at even the person that's coaching this football team is Steve Sarkisian. He wants them to be engaged, encouraged, and celebrating each other. But there's some sort of reluctance or fear. I thought Steve made another good point in terms of fronts. So let me address this comment, and then I'll get to the point that he made about the fronts. Personal opinion, we have a leadership vacuum, same left. Who's on sideline getting in people's asses when it goes south? Who's the definitive leader on the team? No one knows. Would y'all say that Sam Ehlinger was a good leader? Yes or no? Would you say that Bijan Robinson's a good leader right now? How many people, we've had lead? I even think it's beyond that, personally. I don't think you're wrong, but no, we don't have a Vince Young that's going to inject confidence and almost irrational confidence in people to do things that they're not capable of doing. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but I don't know if it's necessarily a leadership vacuum. Blake Rhodes said, I wish we got a weekly pressure from PK just to see how he sees things. I don't think I've ever heard him talk. No, there's some clips out there. But the point I was going to get to before this, what was I going to say? Oh, the fronts. So Steve actually pointed this out. In the first half, and this goes to the thing of are people figuring out what we're doing and adjusting, or is this a mental thing? And the way he didn't even answer a question, he just said it. It sounded like it was a mental thing, because what he said was the way we're blocking fronts and getting down in the first half, we see the same front later in the game. He said same exact front, and we don't block it the same for whatever reason. Something gets in our head, and all of a sudden we miss a block. All of a sudden we have a poor snap. All of a sudden we have a penalty. All of a sudden something happens, and we get in our own way. Is that the team adjusting to you? He said we saw the same exact fronts at the beginning of the game that we were prepped for, and we killed it, versus at the end of the game, and we all of a sudden we don't know what to do, and we're struggling to execute. What is that? What is that? And look, all the OU people here and all the folks here and thank you, Blake, for the super chat. All the people here that, clown me and go on social media, go in. Why are we running two deep safety half the game versus Spencer Sanders? Also, why do we not use Keeler Robinson? He disappeared at the first drive. I agree with you, Matthew Miller, in terms of running two deep safety. Those receivers, Tay Martin was dropping balls left and right, and that was an issue. Keeler Robinson, I talked about the jump. Still don't know why he's not more, he seemed to be featured at the beginning, and then we go away from him. I don't get it. I don't. I don't have any problem with the comment you made. Rand Rodriguez, thank you for the super chat. No excuses. We're a horrible second half team. When Stark goes off script, he's just not producing. We're just killing the defense in the second half. But to my point, though, if he's calling the same play against the same front first half and we execute it, in second half we don't, what is that? And I think, yeah, it's his job as a coach and how much he gets paid to figure it out. Why is Bijan not getting the ball more? Bijan had 24 touches today. I don't know if he had 30 touches. I don't know if that wins us the football game or not. But like, we can't run the guy into the ground. That's not fair to him. We talk about how awesome our running back room is. We have Keelan Robinson there who has one touch. That's the question we should be asking. Somebody said we need to start Hudson Card. Look, we can keep taking people out and putting other people in. The outcome has been the same. The outcome was the same when Sam Ehlinger was here. And I'm talking out of frustration right now. I haven't looked at anything, but the outcome has been the same. So yeah, we can try to put somebody else in. I feel bad because I thought there was a lot of progress that was made defensively today, to be honest with you. And I know nobody wants to hear that considering the way that the game ended and how they looked at the end of the fourth quarter. But I was encouraged by some of the people on defense throughout the game. I thought they were in better position. I thought they played their gaps well. I thought they were completely shutting down inside zone. I thought they really were forcing the game on Spencer Sanders' hands. They got turnovers again. I told y'all they're going to get opportunity to get the football. They got it. We scored 24 points today, and we're supposed to have a 50, 45 point per game offense. We came to this game averaging 44 and a half points. And look, Oklahoma State deserves a lot of credit defensively. Malcolm Rodriguez, Ford, Tyler Lacey, all those guys. But you scored half of what you normally get. And I want to sit here and talk to me about PK and the defense and all that. Yeah, am I frustrated that they didn't get stops at the end of the game? Sure, they were gassed and are arguably one of our best defensive players, and DeMar Shaw wasn't even in there. Dr. Thompson, if you're going to keep talking about the same thing, you about to get blocked, man. And I don't want everybody to have their own opinion, but I mean, this is ridiculous. What's most disappointing, let me read some of these. What's most disappointing to me is the massive recruiting push this week. And Coach completely shit the bed. Doesn't bode well, in my lowly opinion. No, it sucks, but again, we seem to still get recruits. If we weren't recruiting well the last 10 years and we never got anybody, would we even feel disappointed right now? Wasn't Bijan Robinson a 5-star recruit? Some of these people on the defense were 5-star recruits. So would we feel this way? Nino, I agree. We gave up 25 points on 82 snaps. Do the math. Spencer Sanders, yeah, we gave up 193 yards rushing, most of which came at the end of the game. This guy got away with 33 carries. They had 49 rushes as a team for 220. That's 4.5 yards per carry. That's not awful. Now, yeah, in the context of at the end of the game, you want to play your best football at the end. Sure, we gotta be tough. I'm not gonna make excuses for them for all those things. The offense was bad. And we don't play complimentary football. Colt Smith said, I'm so sick of hearing we don't want to let them get behind us. We have zero faith in our cornerback. So we're playing Tyreek Hill. Sure. But I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't like how off we play and how But again, the defense gave the offense so many chances today. We have an offensive-minded head coach, and I hope you guys take the time to go and listen to Sark's presser. We have an offensive-minded head coach. He got up there and blamed the offense. Did he explicitly blame the offense? No. But if you read between the lines on what he was saying and him talking about how many snaps the defense played today, he blamed the offense. Steve Sarkisian is not coming into games thinking, I'm only going to score 24 points today at home. I'm not going to have any points in the fourth quarter. I'm going to get shut out 16-0 in the fourth quarter. So blame the defense. When did the Bijan Robinson touchdown happen? I believe that was our first drive of the if I'm not mistaken, that happened 11:43. 11:43 left in the third quarter is when that touchdown happened. We did not score another point after that. So blame who you want to blame. There are games like whenever. Last week we scored 48 points. You want to blame? Blame whoever you want to blame. There's a psychological issue on this football team. Period. Blame whoever you want to blame. We've had these problems. What you're seeing with Steve Sarkisian is not new. We've had these problems. If you just put the uniform on, you just put the color on, it's the same outcome, I should say. It's the same outcome. It's the same outcome. Dr. Johnson, we're going to go ahead and block him because I don't have time for that. So we can go ahead and block him because that when people are talking like that, they don't know what to talk about, and it's frustrating to see that at this point. And I hate blocking people. I really do. I never like blocking people, but it needs to be done because you're not watching football right now. It's a psychological issue. I don't know what it is. I just know that for a head coach to not be asked a question, to get on the podium and say something is happening to us mentally when we get the lead and we're calling the same play against the same front, knowing what we're going to get, and something happens where they don't do what they're trained to do, what does that tell you? It's just that he's saying it. All these other coaches we've had before will give you coach speak. But he actually had a moment of honesty. Go watch the presser. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. It's frustrating. It's frustrating when you want to not look ahead, but you want to say, you know what? We feel like we're a good enough football team. We feel like we're a team that can wreak havoc. And I'm not saying you need to be Jenna. Thank you. I'm not saying you need to be a what should I call it? Sugarcoat things or be a cheerleader or anything like that, or be delusional. But it's the reality of the situation. I don't know how else to explain it. Taylor said their hearts aren't in it. I can't tell you how wrong that is. No disrespect, Taylor, and I appreciate the comment. These kids are they hurt as much as you want to talk about how much we hurt. And I'm talking about people like Bijan, everybody. Trust me on that. Shout out to my brother Tope, who was on here and got his first start today. I'm really proud of him. These brothers are hurting. I got a chance to speak with him a little bit after the game. These brothers are hurting. It's not fun and games. They want nothing more than to come out and fix this. They want nothing more than to come out and be the group that turned Texas around. Trust me on that. I talked to former players who were at this school. They came here with the same aspirations as everybody else. Let me see. I like Sark as a play caller, but do you think he'll ever get a offensive coordinator so he can focus a little bit more on the whole team, especially in the games? That's not a good sign because you hired him to be a Lincoln Riley type. You hired him to be the guy that is with his play sheet and doing his thing. And yeah, he's a head coach. Now, I will say this. Steve Sarkisian, to this point in time, and this is not hate or anything, these are just facts, he has yet to win 10 games as a head coach. He hasn't won much as a head coach. He is uber successful as a coordinator, uber successful in his coaching career in general. But as a head coach, he hasn't really won anything. So is this growing pains for him? Is this who he is as a coach? We'll see over time. And he's got to have the opportunity to recruit, to learn this team, to develop this program, and to get us out of this mental funk, this emotional funk, whatever this is. He needs that time. And whoever was going to come here to replace Tom Herman was going to have to deal with that, which is why I was saying, and I will say this, and this isn't saying, oh, people should be fired or anything, but if they don't make it to the Big 12 championship, this season's a fail, in my opinion. To me, it's a pass-fail grade. There's no A, B, C, D, or E. This is a pass-fail grade. If you don't make it there with what's on the line and what you have on your team, that's a fail. Now, I'm not saying you should be fired. I'm saying you come back next year and pass. But to me, it's a pass-fail situation, in my opinion, from what I've seen, especially the way you lost these last 2 weeks. I have no doubt. So Donovan said, Sark alluded that the team is mentally in the right place Monday through Friday, but when they're in the heat of fire, things don't go their way. It's been a real challenge to maintain confidence. I agree with that. And I have no doubt dudes are working. And I have no doubt that all these players want to win. I don't see anybody out there on the field that they're putting on the field that doesn't want to win the game, that's not giving 100% effort. I don't see people that are not giving effort. But they are so, and look, when you have people out there that have been through all these different coaches, when you have people out there that have heard so many different messages, been through so much drama, trauma, whole bit, bars, drama and trauma, whole bit. What happens is when we get in moments of conflict, when we get in moments of adversity, they are resorting back to those past issues. And so until they leave and go somewhere else, whether it's onto life or to the NFL, where they're no longer in that situation, all of a sudden they look confident again. So I do think that's part of the situation. I do. That's just my own eye looking at it. These people were supposed to be master schemers coming in here, and I don't think that they forgot how to do that because of the way they start the games. The way they're starting the games offensively and defensively, they know what they're doing. But like Sark said, the moment something happens, we throw a pick six today. That shouldn't have been the end of the game. That should be, oh man, that was a bad play. We turned it over in the red area. Let's not do that again. Yeah, that was actually strategically the right call. Honestly, Sean Dunn, I disagree. You have to give that touchdown up because you need to get the ball back to try to tie it up to go to overtime. We threw a pick on the subsequent play. You see teams do that all the time, all levels of football. I understand psychologically, yeah, you're giving something up, but like they needed the ball back. You don't want them. The last thing you needed was Oklahoma State to run the clock out. Is that what you wanted? They needed to get the ball back, which they did, and then they turned it over. Y'all can say coaching with Herman's players, but when Herman was here, wasn't it, oh, we're coaching with Strong's players? When Strong was here, oh, we're coaching with Mac's old players that got stale. That's always the point. That's always like What are we talking about here? Like David said we need more dogs on the offensive and defensive line. You got to get them in the program. And I'm not saying that there's not dogs here. I think there are. I think Byron Murphy is a dog. I think Alfred Collins is a dog. I saw it today. I even saw it with the offensive line at times. Real rap. Real rap. I saw dogs on both sides. We still lost. Were we giving up sacks all over the place the whole game? Were we not stuffing their run for a good part of the game? And then psychologically, we fall apart. I'm going to go for 5 more minutes because we got to get to this birthday party. I want to go for 5 more minutes. What are we talking? Like, let's be real. I feel like we're looking at the outcome, or we're looking at the end of the game and saying, oh, we don't have anybody that can do this, when that's not true. That's not true. We gotta really contextualize this. And and during this bye week, I'm gonna have some people on. Nino, we gonna rap. I'm telling you right now. Lando, we gonna rap. Homer, we gonna rap. All of us, all of it, because this requires, this conversation right now requires all hands on deck. Tran, everybody, and we need to have a roundtable. I'm saying this right now. We need to have a roundtable, because you can't just go with, we don't have any dogs at all, when we're seeing it throughout the course of the game and then they fall off. And that's something I said before, and I'm actually going to correct myself on it. I disagree with that. I disagree with the fact, I personally do. Now, do we have dogs to where they can get us all the way home? All that type of thing? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But what we're seeing right now is frustrating. It's frustrating. I think it's the mentality. It's not just the mentality, but the entire program. The entire program. Look, we've had quarterbacks injured before. Somebody said, "Oh, Carr, come in." Didn't we have this conversation last year? How many years are we gonna have this conversation? When the previous quarterback, when his ribs broken, or not broken, but he had bad ribs, and he was having trouble. We always have these problems. We consistently have these problems. Now we're gonna make the roundtable happen. Yeah, no, Tran made the point about restructuring this. You know, I would like to know more in depth on what's going on there, and me and you can rap about that. But I don't know, man. Defensively, 82 plays, 25 points. That's not bad. But how did it happen? Shout out to the sponsor, BUSR. I appreciate a couple minutes left, but BUSR.com. This week we should be announcing the actual contest. Logistics getting sorted out, but anybody that is a previous, if you previously signed up on BUSR or you're currently signing up, I encourage everybody to sign up, especially if you're in the sports betting business and you want to take advantage of everything that's going on. Do it on my dime, BUSR.com/Fanatic. Contest coming up. Details coming. I don't think they're weak. I disagree with that. I don't think it. I think they have. I think you have. So let me ask you this, and this is on some real stuff. If you've been through trauma in your life, and you keep making the same mistake because of a mental health problem that you have, does that make you weak, or does that mean you need to address what the problem is? And I'm not saying we know what the problem is, but something is there, because this doesn't make sense. You're having these monstrous leads. You're coming out looking so good. And one little measly thing happens and we completely fall apart. But we've said this over how many years of us, something fizzling out or falling apart. We blame something all the time. We blame the coaches, blame the defense, blame the offense. What's going on? I hate to leave a live like this, but there's so many more questions than there are answers right now. And I think we really got to deep dive into so much of this stuff because, yeah, I don't think the coaches did the best job on earth schematically, especially in the second half and at certain points of the game. I'm not saying the coaches are without blame. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that the players are not without blame in terms of execution, in terms of playing up to the best of their abilities. Can everyone say that they brought their A game as a player? But collectively, even with all of what I just said, it shouldn't have resulted in losing to a team like Oklahoma State. And I understand Oklahoma State is 6-0 and they're ranked 12th in the country. That team wasn't good enough to beat Texas today, and Texas literally handed them the football game. Malcolm Rodriguez, all those guys, Colby Harvell-Peel, they're good. Tanner McCallister, who got the pick at the end, it's good football players on defense, no doubt about it. But they came in here with the quarterback who was wildly inaccurate. They came in here with an offensive line who just struggled to block inside zone, struggled to block anything, struggled to execute. But they kept themselves in the game and won the game. Texas should have blown them out today. Do y'all hear me? Texas should have blown them out today. But we get in our own way. So is that a Oklahoma State? Oh, Oklahoma State's better than Texas. Is that a Texas problem? Wasn't Texas blowing out OU last week? What happened? Did we get in our own way or what? What do we do? What are we doing? I know people are going to disagree with me on that. Spencer Sanders was not good today. He's not a good college quarterback. And I'm just being objective. He's not. Look at the footballs he's throwing. Texas should have blown them out at home. That's not even being arrogant. If you understand ball and you understand the flow of the game and how things were going, what's going on? What's going on? Stop saying with the Bijan guys. We're going too far there about Bijan leaving and all that type of stuff. We've had like I said, we've had special runners before. We'll have special runners again. We got them coming in. Running backs aren't stopping. Totally let them off the hook. Totally agree, Nino. Completely left these guys off the hook. What they had 3 field goals for damn near the whole game. Their one touchdown came on a pick until almost what? When did they score their first offensive touchdown? Let's go look that up because I don't know off top. When did Oklahoma State score their first offensive touchdown in this football game? Let's see. It was the fourth quarter, 10 minutes. And then they failed on the 2 points. So it was 10 minutes left in the fourth quarters when they scored their first offensive touchdown. If you told me that they weren't going to score an offensive TD until 10 minutes left in the game, with how we've been playing offense, that's why I'm upset. That's why I'm more upset than I even am about what happened against OU. I was in shock against OU. I'm just saddened by what I'm seeing, and I'm sad for our guys and our kids. I love these kids. I like these coaches. I don't think these coaches are dicks. I think these coaches are good people. I think they're trying to recruit as best they can. I think they're trying to rebuild this culture. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to have a roundtable. We're going to get a bunch of Texas people on here over the next 2 weeks to share their opinions, and we're going to talk through it and have some therapy over the next until we play Baylor before Halloween in Waco. And I mean, Baylor to me is right there with Oklahoma State. These are teams that are just good, sound football teams that don't beat themselves. And if you come in there and play the way we did and getting your own way and trip over your feet, then you're going to lose in Waco. You'll lose. But guys, I appreciate everybody that came on here and talked about it. If I didn't get to I apologize if I didn't get to any comments or anything that you guys wanted to address. You know, show me some grace. That's all I ask, because this was tough. This was brutal. This was brutal as a fan. But I'm gonna go and celebrate tonight and celebrate, Jason and his birthday and everything. But I appreciate everybody coming in the chat and showing love and appreciate it. Really do. Really, really do. Shout out to my sponsor, BUSR Official Sportsbook, the official betting partner of Fanatic Perspective. And, BSR.com/Fanatic. Appreciate it. Make sure you guys follow on all platforms. Subscribe, follow on Instagram and Twitter. Go stay engaged as much as we can. But right now we have a lot more questions than we do answers. And the way Steve Sarkisian started that press conference, I don't think he has the answers as of right now, and he's trying to figure that out as well. I think we're collectively there. Guys, I appreciate y'all. Horns, always out.